Sheep farmers disappearing. Here is why it matters and how you can help. Hello and welcome to this podcast where we explore the incredible world of sheep farming and sustainable wool practices. I'm Dick Bain of Devon Duvets and today I want to talk to you about something close to our hearts. British sheep farming, the beautiful wool it produces and why it's so crucial that we support this vital industry now more than ever. You see, wool is one of nature's most wonderful fibers, but it doesn't simply appear on its own. It all starts with sheep and, more importantly, the farmers who care for them. British sheep farmers are the backbone of this process. They work incredibly hard to maintain high standards of animal welfare and land management, ensuring we have access to natural, high-quality wool for products like our duvets. But here's the thing. There's a real issue facing the future of wool production in the UK, and it's something we need to address. Since the 1980s, the number of sheep farmers in the UK has halved, dropping from around 90,000 to only 45, with 34,000 full-time sheep farmers left, working hard to continue this tradition. Why? Economic pressure, the rise of synthetic fibers, and changes in the agricultural industry have made it incredibly tough for farmers to keep going. To put this into perspective, the estimated profit for lowland sheep farmers in 2023 ranged between 15 and 20,000 a year, and that includes subsidies. Without that financial support, many wouldn't even survive at all. As you can see, it's truly a labor of love for these farmers. Beyond that, the entire sheep farming sector supports about 120,000 jobs across the UK. It also generates a significant contribution to the UK economy, bringing about 1.8 billion annually, with about 500 million from exports alone. Those numbers are impressive, but they only tell part of the story. The decline of sheep farmers threatens far more than the availability of high-quality wool. It impacts our rural communities, the ecosystems they maintain, and even the British countryside itself. Without sheep farmers, there would be no wool, and we would lose access to one of the most sustainable, renewable fibers we have. At Devon Duvets, we are proud to work with British Wool, an organization that upholds the highest standard of wool production. But behind every bale of wool is a dwindling number of farmers, and that's where the real concern lies. Sheep farming is not just about wool, it's about preserving the rural landscape, sustaining local economies, and protecting traditions that have been passed down through generations. Additionally, managed grazing pastures are a good carbon sink, capturing CO2 in the vegetation and storing carbon in the soil, which could otherwise be released into the atmosphere. By maintaining these pastures, sheep farmers play a critical role in fighting climate change, making them an essential part of both environment preservation and sustainable agriculture. A great question is, of course, why does sheep farming matter for the countryside? Sheep play a critical role in maintaining the countryside. By grazing the land, they're helping manage landscapes, keeping them healthy and biodiverse. Without sheep to graze, our rural land would face overgrowth, leading to loss of wildlife, imbalances in the ecosystem. Grazing keeps the natural balance, ensuring wildflowers, grasses, and the wildlife to thrive. So when we talk about supporting sheep farmers, we're also talking about keeping the countryside alive, maintaining the beauty and balance of the land we cherish. So what can you and I do to help? The answer is simple. We need to cherish and support our sheep farmers by choosing products made by British wool. Every time you buy a product, like our duvets, you are directly contributing to the survival of this essential industry. It's more than just purchasing a luxury sustainable product, you are helping sustain livelihoods, supporting ethical farming practices and protecting the traditions that keep our countryside alive. By choosing British wool, you are making a statement that you value the hard work of our farmers, the welfare of the sheep, and the preservation of our rural heritage. Every step you take in choosing natural fibers helps maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystems that rely on sheep farming. At Devon Duvets, we have seen firsthand the dedication of the farmers we work with. These are people who don't just produce wool, they care for the land, nurture their sheep, and keep those age-old traditions alive. The traceable quality of the wool we use is a direct result of the sustainable practices and care these farmers put into the work. But they can't do it alone. As sheep farming continues to decline, the future of British wool and the countryside it supports hangs in the balance. That's why it's so important for us, as consumers, to recognize the impact we can have by choosing products that support sustainable farming. To sum this up, I want to remind you that every time you purchase a Devon Duvets product made from British wool, you are doing more than getting a beautiful crafted natural product. You're helping to keep sheep farming alive, you're supporting a tradition that's critical for the health of our countryside, the future of our rural communities, and the availability of this incredible fiber, which is naturally antibacterial, temperature regulating, and resistant to dust mite. Let's cherish our sheep farmers. Let's keep this heritage strong. Without them, we wouldn't have the wool that makes Devon Duvets so special, and we wouldn't have the beautiful landscapes that we love in the UK. Together we can make sure the legacy of sheep farming continues for generations to come. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for supporting British wool and the sustainable products. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like this podcast and subscribe on our website devonduvets.com and share this podcast with anyone who might benefit from learning more about our British sheep farmers. Also, please leave a comment below why you think it's important to support British farmers, or why you think it is important to buy natural wool products. Until next time, I'm Dick Bijen. Take care, sleep better under wool, and let's keep supporting British sheep farmers.